in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at Lumen Field here in the SoDo district of Seattle.
Today, it's the opener of a new NFL season between the Cleveland Browns and the Seattle Seahawks. The kicker, Dustin Hopkins, set to get this one going. And off we go from Seattle. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. They look to throw. It's Bloc.
Setting up the screen here. This is Walker.
Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
So many screen passes are the result of excellent acting by everyone. But sometimes the guy who's getting the ball tips the play off. The running back, because he's eager to get the pass. And sometimes he doesn't act very well about whether he's going to block or leak out or whatever. And I think that they saw that.
And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack.
Anthony Walker, given that O-line fits, he gets in there to drop him.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10.
Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10.
At their own 16. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
And again, it's Chubb. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Watson off play action. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield.
Flying in to pick up that sack, Jordan Brooks.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Pilardi now on the punt as he sends this one away. Pulled in at the 24. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They were forced to punt on their initial drive of the new season. Now they're ready to go as they begin again with a 1st and 10.
Here's Walker to start the drive. Taken down at the 42.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Throw left side complete. That's Garcia. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Complete to number 85. A gain of 4 brings up 3rd and 4.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down.
Here's Locke to throw.
And that ball incomplete, nearly intercepted. Took a chance with that one. It'll lead to a 4th down.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, 1st quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing.
The Browns take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly when the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the plays we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses. And the Seahawks add a couple of extra DBs going with the dime look here.
Indeed, 6 on the field. On 3rd down, it's Nick Chubb. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4. So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. This is taken at the 15.
A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back.
And out will come the offense as they take over. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. The free safety roaming all the way up to the line of scrimmage to make that stop.
How about his ability to trust his eyes and figure out it was not a pass play and go fast towards the line of scrimmage in order to make that tackle.
And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Second and 10.
Block now to throw. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here as they've got it with a 1st and 10. To throw it is Lock.
Man open downfield, it's Metcalf.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Well, he reminded us that he was a 1,000-yard receiver a year ago as he starts off week 1 picking up right where he left off. He told us at the end of the preseason he was primed for a big year. He just gave us excellent evidence of his belief.
And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
On 2nd down, it's Walker.
He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Block going to try and throw on 3rd down.
Open man is Eskridge. That's complete.
And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first.
Oh, that's a sharp throw right there on 3rd down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
A chance for their first points of the season here as it's 1st and goal. Here's Walker.
And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now.
Again, Walker.
And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. It makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
A big play if you think about it right now in this season opener. It's 3rd and goal.
Now Lock. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
So taking a risk here early in the new year, they're going to go for it.
Throwing now is Bloc. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt, and this Browns defense stands tall. A chance to get some momentum here in the second quarter, getting their first trip into the red zone, but unable to get it across.
And if I'm the head coach, sure, you feel some disappointment, maybe a little bit of deflation there because you didn't get it in, but I'm going straight to rah-rah mode. All right, guys, we didn't get it this time. It's only the second quarter. We'll be back. Let's get it later on. I want to keep this team up. I don't want them to feel like they've let everyone down.
Positive.
Got to be positive in this situation. It's too early to think that you don't have a chance to win this game.
And he's dropped just shy of the 25 at the 24. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side, the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Off of play action, it's Watson. Steps away. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Now Watson. This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Good, sure hands there from a guy not accustomed to catching a whole lot of passes. But how about the way he was able to pull that one in and pick up good yardage?
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he'll lose yardage here. Going down back at the 28. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
On 4th down, Michael Pilardi on to punt.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Taking it about the 16.
A nice punt, but a good run back as well, 13 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
And, partner, I know so far, and we're still in the first half, but you love this game as a defensive guy. 0-0. We'll see if the offense can get going on this drive.
Well, you know how they talk about music to your ears? How about what it does for your eyes when you watch something like this, right, where these teams are locked in and going at it, no points going up on the scoreboard. I'm loving it. You're exactly right.
Well, switch over, though, to an offensive mindset for a moment. What do they need to do here to get on track and get some points?
Well, I think a couple of ways. Number one, you pull out something that maybe they haven't seen before. Coaches always talk about unscouted looks. Maybe you give them something that they haven't seen on tape, and now you shock them that way. The second, run your basic playbook, but run it so well that you give your skill position guys a chance to make big plays individually. But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Here's Bloc. And that will be incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. One incompletion, two incompletion. They're going for more.
Here's Michael Dixon now to punt. And he gets this away, angled for the sideline with a lock behind it. Wow. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line.
Taken down at the 22-yard line. 1 yard gain brings up 2nd and 9.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Out of the gun, they run it with Hunt. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
It's not a huge breakaway run, but if your starting running back finishes the game with averages of 5 or 6 yards per touch, you'll take that every single time.
Watson just beating the play clock. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Sometimes the game is pretty simple. Put a few extra defensive backs on the field, give them nowhere to throw the football, force the incompletion, and get off the field on 3rd down.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Fielded just inside the 20. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle. Room here to run. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45.
So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend.
As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here.
We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. Fields this way up at the 17. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Browns drive about to get started.
And Charles, a scoreless first half. How does that change how you assess things here moving forward?
Well, it doesn't change it a whole lot because, remember, it's still scoreless, which means you're starting from 0 again, so you just have one half to play instead of 2. What I would look at my play sheet, though, and see is something that maybe loosens things up for my guys, gets a smile on their faces, and gets them going to begin the second half.
They'll run with Hunt on second down. And he'll get about 2 there to the 36.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Third and 2, Watson. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in a shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
On first down, they'll run with Hunt.
And they'll get him down here at about the 42. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. A give running right is Chubb. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
Sometimes with the running game, you just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. To throw is Watson. That's into the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones. And he is going to have a Browns 1st down as they get 5 there on 3rd and 2.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They're just a little too lackadaisical, Charles, and they didn't get up and snap the ball in time. Delay of game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he understood where the clock was located. In different stadiums, it's in different places. You have to check that in pregame and make sure you're aware so you don't run into penalties like these.
Here's Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it, and his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
We are seeing 2 really confident defenses imposing their will on these offenses in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, going toe for toe. Just curious if one of these offenses can wake up a little bit.
Is there any way they can find something that can pop, something big to knock them back on their heels?
Here's Ross on third down. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball.
And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away.
No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half.
Now, after the loss, he'll have to navigate a 2nd and 17. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Trey Brown.
And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
And Charles, you can just see the frustration on the sideline. Safe to say that's not how they expected this series to go. The ball only went one way, and it was backward into their own end zone, courtesy of the pick six.
And, Brandon, how often do we hear offenses tell us before a game they want to end every series with a kick, right? A punt, PAT, or a field goal. In case of a defense, they want to end with a punt or a takeaway. And we saw the takeaway right there, and it turned out to be a takeaway that turned into 6 points.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away.
And a short kick taken at about the 16. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. And, Charles, we've seen almost 3 full quarters now, and neither offense can really get it going. Neither has hit the end zone, and neither side seemingly can make that big play.
But the game hasn't been devoid of action because these two defenses, they've taken over and they've slugged it out. But I think you're exactly right. We're at that stage of the game now where one of these offenses, if they make a big play, that could be the difference.
2nd and 10, third quarter of the season opener.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Jonathan Abram picks it.
And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football.
Partner, I think this will win a ride very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Walker now at 1st and 10.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. Denzel Ward, the number 4 pick in the 2018 draft, making the tackle from his corner spot. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
sticking with Walker on second down.
And he's going to take this down close to a first down at the Browns' 23.
44 yards on the ground for him so far.
The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
And down he goes, but the stiff arm utilized effectively there, and it helps him move the sticks. The drive stays alive, a third down gain of 8.
Well, they gave themselves options there on the third down play, and were able to convert on that RPO.
Shows a lot of trust with the guy taking the snap, doesn't it? Because you're counting on him to make the right reads and give the ball where it's supposed to go. And he did on that play.
Walker with another carry.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. The tackle there by John Johnson.
Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw.
A quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
The Seahawks on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Back to throw. Ross throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Touchdown, Seahawks! An 11-yard touchdown.
And the Seahawks are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their fourth-quarter lead.
Good throw there, and I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but he looks a lot more comfortable in his second season.
You can tell he put the work in the offseason, and what I mean by that is understanding the playbook, not just the plays and how to execute them, but how to do it against a variety of defenses, also understands his team better, what they can and cannot do. You can see the confidence rising in him as he plays.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all, because we're talking about the NFL, and teams can score fast in this league. Quick strikes, you're right back in it. You're exactly right. Keeping hope alive.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now it's Watson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Seahawks are going to take over a couple of... midfield.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 48.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They have to like the position that they are in. Fourth quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT. And boy, the strength on display there as he rumbles through tacklers for a gain of about 8. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
To throw on second down, Ross. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead is knocked harmlessly to the turf.
A couple extra tight ends in the formation here as they line up 3rd and 2. They'll try for the first with Walker. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
The Browns drive about to get started. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news, but this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. Jamal Adams on the safety blitz, too fast to handle.
Well, at least it wasn't a turnover like the last drive. You'd think they'd make an adjustment and be ready to make up for that turnover. Instead, just another big play for the defense on that snap.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Watson, and just not much to be had there. 1 yard out to the 10. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
And some space here. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down.
Well, that's something you haven't had to talk about much this game. A nice big play right there. But this team, overall, they haven't done a whole lot offensively.
Well, they're still sitting on the goose egg. We talk about defenses having pride in a shutout. This offense wants to get rid of that 0. Watson to throw. And he will find his man Schwartz. That's complete. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Ooh, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
Now Watson.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Jamal Adams.
And the Seahawks are going to get the football back at their own 17.
I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years, but here we go. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one.
He's got a man, complete.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
No let-up in this passing game. They've been a well-oiled machine throughout. And I actually saw a few guys on the sidelines at the end of the third quarter doing the old hold-up 4 fingers college sign, meaning the fourth quarter is ours. And they certainly weren't.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
John Johnson with the INT.
And the Browns are going to take possession of the football.
That, Charles, the first interception he's thrown here in year number 2.
And I know it's just the first one, but didn't it feel like what we saw from him last year, where he was plagued by this type of a play? And they thought that, you know, over the offseason, going into a second season, some of that would go away. Thus far, still looks a lot like his rookie year.
Here's Watson.
Looking deep downfield. And this is caught inside the 5. And one of the whistles for a timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds.
Watson.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Seahawks are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here, maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end.
Certainly not the highest of scoring games, Charles. Their offense did some okay things. Not a lot of points on the board, but enough for the win with how their defense was playing in this one.
Yeah, they certainly brought their A-game, didn't they? They weren't fooled by anything that was presented to them from start to finish. That defense, they might as well have told their offense, guys, just kick a field goal. We've got it today.
So for the Seahawks, you can't ask for a better start as they pitch a shutout here in the opener. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Atlanta Falcons next week. Meanwhile, for the Browns, they go down to defeat here in the opener. This week as they get a date with the Jaguars in Jacksonville.